Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Week 13 racing in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League. And this time it's the Team World Cup here from Silverstone. Over the course of the next hour, we're going to have nearly 50 drivers already in this session, battling it out there on the circuit as part of teams to try and become the World Teams Champions here this time around. Here at Silverstone tonight in a format similar to usual. Only, of course, we are racing on Saturday night. Hopefully it hasn't caught anybody out here today. What it has allowed for is a lot of Australians, a lot more Australians to join us than usual, and New Zealanders as well. So good to have them on the grid, along with the normal Europeans and people from all over the world, actually, here on this Saturday evening here in Europe. So very glad to have you all along. I'm Ewan O'Leary alongside Jim Cunningham, bringing you broadcast here on the JP YouTube channel, where of course all 12 rounds of the next season in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League will be broadcast on Sunday nights, back to its usual slot again. Good to be alongside you for this one, Jim. I enjoy Week 13 racing quite a lot, actually, because it does bring a lot of people out. And it brings us with a different format as well, and a lot of new faces of drivers who we don't see week to week per se in the Super Formula Lights League because of its place late on a Sunday night.
Yeah, this is it's good to be here with you, by the way, as always. Yeah, this is great. I'm super excited about this format. Just, like you said, Week 13 is, there's no real pressure, and it's just guys out having fun, and it's a different vibe all the way around, and it's a lot of fun. So this should be entertaining. Plus, there are a lot of cars out there.
That's going to make things interesting and difficult at the same time. But
right.
But that's part of the business. That'll be fine. What will also be a little bit difficult is who's in which team and who is doing well. We've very thankfully and helpfully been sent a sheet by Luca Verani to try and make sense of who is where in the teams, as it were. And so far, the current pole sitter is, and they won't all appear on your left-hand side of your screen, so you're going to have to trust us to do a little bit of the work for you. Michal Zazak is currently has got the pole in this session at the moment. Time just about elapsing right now. He's part of the one of the Auto Moves teams. That includes Johan Annette, who won the last race of the season in the championship that finished last week. I don't see Johan Annette in the session yet, though. He'll either make a very late start or not at all. Jordan McDonnell is here, though, one of the New Zealand drivers from Auto Moves. He's inside the top 5 there. And by the way, you only need a top 3 of drivers in your team. And so the fact that Justin Carrizosa, is in second place puts Auto Moves in a very good position to begin with. Lee Aberdeen is leading the line for team name TBD. That is their name. He is the best of them. Thiago Marteau is one of them. He's a fast driver of seasons gone past. Same for Kevin Zwemstra as well. He's qualified inside the top 10. Don't see Martin at the moment anywhere in the field. Indeed, I don't think he is in this session, unfortunately, just for the moment, but that gives you an idea. We've got a few teams scattered about, and Mark Hilly is also at the front at the moment for Orbit Drop Bear. Only 3 drivers in their team, but you only need 3, as I say. Harrison Lilas is another one. He's qualified in 12th place, and Cameron Dance as well, who should be another one who's pretty quick, actually. He's 35th, though. I was a bit surprised to see him so far down in qualifying. So that just gives you an idea of where everybody is. But I think we've got some early favourites, Jim. If we've got a top 5 where 3 of the drivers are on the same team and obviously therefore taking the initiative very early on in this race.
Yeah, that might be a clear indication that there's a favorite out there for sure. It is good to see some of these Australian guys in here. You and I have. We spent a lot of time broadcasting that very early in the morning for me, Australian League. And I think you're still around there, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I recognize a lot of these names from over there as well. So this is actually kind of cool. It's really neat seeing all these guys come together like this from the different Super Formula Lights League around the world. Isn't iRacing and racing online just a wonderful thing that we that we can do this? We all gather and from all over the world and get to do this together. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, it is great, and you know, we have moved from the usual time, but that has allowed the Australians to do the waking up early this time. Although they do it more than us, to be fair. They're able to race here because it's not on Monday morning like the races normally are. Let's have a look at the starting grid then, shall we? Because we've got 49 drivers, I think, 48, who are going to start here. Starting with Michal Zazek, who is going to be on the pole ahead and front of Justin Carrizosa. Lee Aberdeen and Mark Hilley, first All-Australian row, then on row 2 ahead of Jordan McDonough and Chris Patel. Ludovic Ranson is ahead of Jackson Rihanna, then on row 4 ahead of Kevin Dremstra and Marcus Watson, rounding out the top 10. Yunus Amal and Harrison Lilas then share row 6 with the 13th place taken by Kenzie Newhoff. Brent Ruiz is 14th in front of Phil Valladolid and Colangelo, another All-Australian row. Then it is Francisco Ferroni ahead of Brad Fulliger, who was up there last season in this league. Danny Davison and Andy Flint running out top 20 ahead of Kevin Byland, who we saw race to not much avail last week in Imola. Tom Donahue alongside him. Scott Bartide and Matthew Vince are on row 12 with Max Chiagino and Dennis Cornu. Next, Simon Fessi, 27th, ahead of Stefan Dodder, Ryan Borg, Alex Stevens ran at the top 30, ahead of Max Bartolotta and Marius Anderson. Brody McConkey a long way down, 33rd, although she'll probably race well. Patrick Williams behind him. Cameron Dance a long way down as well, 35th, ahead of Thomas Hill. Then it's Miguel Costa Texera, James Custer, Marcelo Caruza, Engwin, Robert Ridgway, Philip Lucas, Adam Townsmere, Alex Zikas, Bruno Danese, Terry Nightingale Jr., Tristan McLaren, Anthony Bate, rounding out the 48 drivers who are in the field here tonight. It's a massive grid. They are queuing up round the back there, as you can see, like a long queue in the shops or something. They're right round the corner, and so some of them will cross the start-finish line at quite some speed because of how far around they're starting. Couple of non-starters as Yunus Amal actually towards the front. You can see the gap where he's supposed to be. He hasn't taken the start here, ready for the Team World Cup as we're underway here from Silverstone. No purple zone tonight, so hold on to your hats for this one. Coming in towards turns 1, 2 and 3 for the first time as also moves teammates Zayak and Carrizosa battle there. Oh, and trouble through the middle of the pack as there's a spinner there. It's clean at the front of the field, but there was always going to be trouble as well, and that is a spin mean time for one of those leading team drivers. More spins at turn 3, more contact. Goodness me, and more cars bouncing into the air. Zayak and Carrizosa have made a very good start here, and fair play to them, because for auto moves their teammates haven't. Jordan McDonough got dived in towards turn 3 and spun around, and that has put auto moves in a 1-2, yes, but they don't have their third driver supporting them quite as closely as before.
Wow, okay. That was a heck. Oh, we still got action.
Oh dear me, more trouble.
Oh, they're
and Dennis Cornu's involved in this one. So is Danny Davison, Kenzie Newhoff, and well, there is another one to add to the list. So much going on that one here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it'll take us half the race to sort this out.
Yeah, it will.
I tell you, look how thinned out the field is already. Wow, what a first lap. Holy cow. I never realized how important that purple zone was.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, sometimes you wonder, well, can we remove this? Well, the answer's no. Another spin out of Chapel this time and into the fence. This is not exactly a small circuit either. This is a proper Grand Prix circuit. And yeah, we've seen a lot of trouble on lap number 1, but Michal Zayak is still leading, had Justin Carrizosa. The leading train goes all the way down to 13th pretty much as Chris Patel is in, so he's no longer be part of it. But as you mentioned, the field is thinning out here further down, but actually that initial group at the front is not necessarily so thinned out. Meanwhile, by the way, James Casser up 24 places so far. Alex Zikas up 28 places. Tristan McLaren up 29. This is an unbelievable start from some of these guys further back as they have just avoided trouble really on lap number 1.
Look at the list. Y'all can't see it, but look at the list of cars that are in the pits right now. Got to be 16, 18, 20 cars in the pits right now.
Yep. I would. Oh, no, some are leaving actually already, but yeah, I've got it at 28 drivers have either been in the pit lane already or are in the pit lane now. That is more than half the field, which is pretty remarkable, really, as the Auto Moves teammates begin to make some moves here, and they continue at the front of the field. John McDonnell is down to 22nd, and so with Annette not here, they're really relying on McDonnell to go decently well, but because of the point system for this, they've already got 380 points between the two of them. They'll have over 430 because of McDonnell's score as well, and so they should still be the leaders pretty comfortably, but that's only as long as they continue 1 and 2 at the moment, which they are doing at the front of the field, those two. Zayek and Carrizosa trying to get ahead of the rest of the field. There goes Jackson Rihanna on Lee Aberdeen there in towards Stoke Corner. Aberdeen holding firm on the outside line, and Rihanna will get through. I think Lee Aberdeen given a slow down penalty as he drops to 5th place.
Holy cow. Yeah, I'm still trying to sort the. I don't even begin to know where to start showing replays of this. I think I'm just going to go hit a couple of them. Kind of the mass replay.
It's pretty remarkable, the start that we've had here tonight.
It was unbelievable. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to have a bit of live stewarding tonight, by the way, from Luca, but only if they are protested incidents here. Marius Anderson and Chris Patel have already been protested. We'll see whether they get a penalty or not, and we'll keep you updated on that as we go. Max Bartolotta here is just in behind Alex Zikas, who's made up 28 places so far. That's not the most of anybody. Justin McLaren just behind has made 30 because he started dead last and he's already in the top 20. But there goes Bartolotta, unsurprisingly perhaps. He makes his way up into 16th place. Quick driver as well. And unsurprisingly, as I say, moves up into 16th. This is the chasing group. The teammates out front working together very well. At the moment, Mark Hilly and Jackson Rihanna are struggling to hold on.
Yeah, well, and those two are not teammates, but they certainly are quite familiar with each other. They race with each other every week and have for a while now. So maybe they'll potentially kind of work together to stay with that lead team, even though they're not on the same team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they've got to act like. Oh, and well, let's just say that. Rihanna goes for the move. I was just thinking, they've got to act like they're on the same team here because they've got mutual interests in terms of catching the leaders again.
Exactly.
Zayek and Carrizosa, if they finish 1 and 2, I don't see a way, unless you finish 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the moment. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to actually accumulate the 430-ish points that you actually need here to get ahead of them. In fact, yeah, you'd need to have 3 in the top 8, I would say. And that's going to be very, very difficult unless you can get in amongst that top 2. But Brianna's now through on Mark Hilly, who is going to be de-incentivised to try and help Rihanna now catch up to those leading 2.
Maybe, but maybe Rihanna was faster and Hilly now can use the draft and they can maybe close that gap up, because the gap was opening up just a little bit. I mean, they were kind of battling, so that doesn't help, but let's wait and see. I mean, they certainly have incentive to work together, like you said, and they know each other very well. You know, from racing against each other regularly. We'll see. I mean, I would, you know, unless they have issues from racing together weekly. But not that I know of. And I've done that league a little bit anyway. I don't recall any kind of, you know, rift between those two.
No, not particularly. You know, they fought for titles together as well, of course, these two. But I think they will work together here, or they certainly should be. But maybe Mark Hilly doesn't quite have the pace at the moment. Rihanna got past him pretty decisively there. And we'll see what happens at the end of the Hanger Straight here. Could be quite telling as they go under the bridge and towards Stoke Corner now. Is there going to be a chance here for Mark Hilly to go past? Well, no. So it kind of doesn't really matter anyway, because he wasn't close enough in the first place to get himself through. But anyway, down in towards the chicane, final chicane, and Jackson Rihanna is going to have to do the heavy lifting here to catch up to those two further behind. Jordan McDonnell's up to 21st now, by the way, so only gaining points at the moment on the others. As I mentioned, Mark Hilly's teammates are Harrison Lillis and Cameron Dance. who are not up towards the front at the moment as far as I can see, although Lilas is in 6th place. They do need Cameron Dance to be a lot higher up, and I have a feeling he was sort of unlucky with where he started this race. He's already had a 3-minute pit stop nearly, and they're down in 40th at the moment. Cameron Dance is down in 40th place, so there's only 21 points available for that. Even if the other two between them are scoring nearly 300, that only puts them just over 300. And they're then looking at sort of, again, requiring the other two to lose a lot of points here as we go back in the pack. This is the sort of stuff that's going on. Tristan McLaren gains another place, 31 for him now.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, it really is. With the amount of cars that are off the track, whoa, he didn't keep it for long. Alex just flew by him there. That was almost like he had a slowdown or something. He went by so fast, but go again. Just certainly not helping him move up the field any.
No.
Oh,
no, definitely not.
Well, that's a little far out there.
Just a little bit wide through Cops Corner. You can get away with that, although it will give you an off track. Side by side through here. Tristan McLaren will take 17th.
But no slowdown, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think you can get away with it if you run that sort of distance wide. You can get away with it through there, although, as I say, I think it will be an off track, so you have to just be mindful of those and not let that get out of hand. Flint versus Kasser as well, in towards the final chicanes. Quite low on the brakes from James Kasser. Can't go around the outside there. Stays in 23rd position at the moment, does James Kasser. Looking up and down the field again, by the way, to see which teams can maybe overhaul the leaders at the moment. There's always one weak link in the other teams at the moment, apart from the Auto Moves duo, who are up the front of the field, even with McDonnell all the way down there. The fact that they are so far back is not mattering at the moment, because there is a 1-2 out front.
All right, I'm gonna try to bounce through a couple of these just to see. They're going to be quick, and it might not be the best camera angle for each one, but there's just so many of them. So these are all back from the beginning start of the race here.
So McDonnell, I don't think saw that coming really, and then it all spills out to the outside. But to be honest, I don't think
they're not
the driver
done.
on the outside can, or the inside rather, makes holds too much responsibility there. I think that's more on Judd McDonnell. They didn't really give the space down the inside there at all.
That was a hot mess there afterwards too. It piled in. Could be the same area, just going to be further back, different cars. It got taken out in this. There was a lot of cars that had nothing to do with this whatsoever that got wiped out because of it.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, lots of drive. Yeah, and you know, when you're starting in 40th, there's just no chance for you to even sit. And look at that rejoin there. That's teammate friendly fire. It looks like Marcus Watson.
Was it?
Who it looked they were in the same livery there as someone was rejoining the Team Oz team. They're not the only Australian team, but that's what they're called. Watson there was T-boned by someone in the same livery as he is, and that is we'll see. We'll just fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
You see there's a Team Oz car there on the inside here, so he gets spun round, and is it he who rejoins like that, or is it somebody else? No, it is somebody else. See this other, there you go, looking to the inside, ducking across the grass, straight into your teammate. Oh no.
Did. That was Watson, and who's Watson's teammate? We'll go back live for a minute.
Well, he's got, it won't have been Jackson Rihanna, because he would have been miles up front, but it could have been Alex Zikas, or maybe even more likely Alex Stevens, who are also his teammates for Team Oz. So that was not great. Speaking of Team Oz, by the way, Jackson Rihanna is now within a second of the leading two, so you just wonder whether he's picking up the slipstream. Mark Healy hasn't been able to go with him, but this is impressive pace from Rihanna, who is dragging his team maybe into some form of contention. Zikas needs to really gain quite a lot of places, even from where he is in 18th place, to make this make a race of this. But nevertheless, if Rihanna can get up towards the front and win the race, there'll be a lot of personal pride attached with that.
Yeah, well, and Rihanna's fast. You know, and everybody's likely to know Silverstone. It's his, very popular circuit, especially for Formula type cars, you know. So these, no doubt, these guys have raced here a bunch. He is absolutely catching them. And they seem to have gotten out of rhythm there for a second. I don't know. He is all over them now, though.
Yeah, I don't know what it is really, how he's been able to close the gap, by the way, whether that is lack of rhythm from those two up front or whether Rihanna's just faster at the moment. But he's there now, over a quarter of the way through this race, approaching a third. Black flag to Marius Anderson for causing a collision on lap number 1 in turn 1, by the way. So there's the first bit of live stewarding tonight.
I can't even begin to imagine what that job was like right there. I mean, we just watched 15 cars get into a wreck, you know.
By the way, most of the ones we saw, by the way, we're in turn 3. So
yeah,
so
right.
haven't even got round to turn 3 yet.
Still
only 2-1. Yeah.
I'll get in a little if you want, guys. That's why we have a purple zone. It's needed. It's not the greatest way to start a race, but it saves a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I did not realize how important the purple zone was. As by the way, that is Luca Brani in here. He's doing the live stewarding tonight instead of racing. So. And he's here to give us some guidance along the way as we need it. Yeah, I don't envy your job at all, by the way. Jackson Rihanna is making a move here for second place right now.
Yeah, so this maybe doesn't help Team Oz so much, but it does help to take points away from the current leading team. That's 20 points valuable there for Auto Moves, by the way, that they will have just lost. So this gives some other teams a chance to get involved if they can at all, but it's going to be very difficult for them to still get involved here. Phil Vella and Ocean Colangelo are 7th and 8th at the moment on the same team. Came rider Danny Davison are their teammates, although Danny Davison had a very long stop earlier. Came rider isn't here tonight, so again going to be very, very difficult. McDonnell is currently in 21st, so we're still quite a long way back as things stand. Really, as I mentioned earlier, you need 3 drivers in the top 8, and even though Max Boost have 2 drivers, they don't have that third who's up towards the front there as well. Another team that have a decent chance here are team named TBD, as I mentioned earlier, with Lee Aberdeen especially being in 5th place and Brent Ruiz being in 10th. The only problem being that Kevin Zwemstra is a long way back for them as well. So it's very difficult, and again, even with a 1-3 sort of scenario, it's very tricky for these other teams to quite overhaul Auto Moves because of their strength. I think it somewhat goes back to their strength in qualifying. Actually, the fact they locked out the front row means that they've been given a bit of a head start in this race.
Yeah, qualifying was so important here. Anytime you're in a 50-car grid like this, you have to qualify in the top, 20%, 25%, just to kind of guarantee yourself that you're more than likely to stay out of the trouble, The problem is, like you said earlier, when you're back there in 40th place, there's just nothing you can do. You just don't even see it coming. And you get tucked up behind a car, their wings all up in your face, and next thing you know, they fly off to the side to get out of the way, and you hit somebody. You just had no idea they were even there. This is a nice little battle right here, a little four-car battle going on. Well, of course, 2 of them are teammates, but up front though, I think you're going to have an incident with one of those 2 team cars up there in the top 3 for any other team to show enough to
Lock up from Colangelo. Oh, Ranson, no! And he's trying to go for the cutback there. He's trying to go for a late apex, and Ruiz was on the inside of him already, and they make contact. So Ludovic Ranson drops to 12th. Well, to be honest, you've got to be wary of that when you're in a group like this. You've got to be very wary that even if there is a bit of a gap here, you've got to be wary of the driver. And look at that there, Colangelo invitingly braking late, but He's going for the cutback. And look at this. Ruiz opportunistically tries to head down the inside. Be interesting to see what they think of that one, because Ranson, for me, is not paying enough attention to what's behind him. And, you know, when you're taking a very wide line, trying to get a late apex and run onto the next straight, you've got to be very wary that opens the door for the driver in front of you, or behind you rather, to try and come through.
Well, that's absolutely the negative aspect of taking that wide apex like that and trying to take that late wide apex. If there's somebody behind you, they're gonna shoot in there. Now, my question would be, if we went back and watched that again, would be half of his car was off. Ruiz, half of his car was off the track, trying to make the move. I mean, is that okay? You know what I mean?
Well,
that's the thing. Like, if you watch.
Yeah, but not to begin with. If you look at the moment they start to be side by side, he's not on the, he's not even on the curb actually, and he's looking for that apex as well. But I think it obviously normally doesn't look great when the driver making contact from the inside.
Yeah,
as Ranson has had more trouble here out of the final corners. Normally doesn't look great, but I think on this occasion he was really banked up on the inside there, trying to avoid contact, but in the end couldn't quite. Jackson Rihanna, meanwhile, has caught to Michał Zajek at the front of the field, and these are the only two now battling in the front group. The teammates have split apart for auto moves, but that's fine for Carrizosa, because he's currently holding third place rather nicely. But what is going to happen in this battle for the race lead? It might not matter too much for the overall cup itself, but it would be bragging rights for sure, and it would be a great win for Rihanna if he were to make up these positions. 6 places gained already.
Oh, he's blinking.
To go on and win from here. He is having a bit of internet trouble as well.
Yeah, that's always fun. Oh man. Well, and of course, it's funny because there are parts of Australia that do not have the best internet. We work with some commentators, broadcasters from Australia, and they seem to have just a touch more trouble than than other people, as we do a lot of times. Another incident here. I'm gonna start trying to cover some of these now as they develop, as things have settled in.
Oh, high speed for Alex Zikas, and he's going to find the wall as well. If Team Oz's difficulties were already difficult enough.
Yeah, that didn't help.
That didn't help at all, no. Rihanna needed the likes of Alex Zikas to gain some more places and start to help him.
Watch the black car here. It's like he sees it coming.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to be part of that. And he just lifted and tapped the brakes there to get out of the way of that, and sure enough, it did happen. He is all over
That's
him.
good driving. Here's Rihanna for Team Oz, and looking for, it really is bragging rights now, because with Zikas all the way down, then don't know who's going to be supporting him to get the points that they require at this stage, although there is still over half this race remaining. He's going to go to the outside here for Kops, and interesting place to defend. Oh, and he gets a bit of a snap on there, does Rihanna, and so he can't go all the way around the outside on Zayek, and indeed Zayek stays in front on this occasion. But Jackson Rihanna is probing and pushing, and just effectively racing as an individual, I think, to try and win this race overall, and then he can. His teammates either will or won't make the places for the team, but as an individual, he'll be looking to win here.
Some bad team news for the front running team.
Yeah, over the curb.
Oh, is he going to get hit? No, good job. Whoa. Was that Maverick? Who was that? I think that was somebody on Maverick's team anyway. Might have been him, actually. So he's dropped a few more spots back down again. But it's not like they're hurting for positions right now.
And to be fair, since he's come out the pit lane, he's still up ahead of where he was when he came out the pit lane. So
there goes Rihanna blinking again.
Rihanna's having a bit of trouble here, and but it's not always about the individuals in today. Actually, when you've got such a world field like
that's
this,
true. That's true.
It's quite hard to get a server that everyone will be able to connect to,
that's
such
true,
as the limitations that we still have these days. On this kind of thing, I'm sure in the future it will be some genius will think of something.
I mean, but you
for
know,
now,
again, it was like it just kind of hit me when I saw this huge field and these people from all over the world. How lucky we are to be at a place where we can do this, And here you and I are broadcasting this race, and we're thousands of miles apart, Yeah. You in the UK and me over here, and it just, It's just really awesome where we're at as far as the sport and the growth of sim racing in general. By the way, the Sim Racing Expo is coming to the United States. I just found out yesterday, and it's coming to the town where my son goes to college. So now I've got an excuse. I can go visit my son and go to the Sim Racing Expo.
Let's get two things out of the way in one.
Convince the wife, hey, we need to go to Charlotte this weekend. By the way, I'm going to run over here to the Sim Racing Expo for the entire weekend.
Yeah, you go and catch up.
Yeah, that's right. You visit.
Tell me everything I missed.
My son will be right there with me. There's no way I'm going to shake him. He's got a sim rig in his dorm room in college, under his bunk.
Right.
His bunk is at the highest level, and he's got a sim rig set up under it. There's no chance he's going to skip the expo.
It's good that it's gone over to America, actually, because it's been over in. I went to the one in Europe again this year.
Yeah, was it again Germany
for the first time?
Was it in Germany or
in Germany? Yeah, indeed. So very very central place for all of us to get to here in Europe, but obviously not quite so much if you're over in America.
I'd be okay if my wife would be willing to go to Germany to the Sim Racing Expo. I'd be more than okay with that. Yes, Rihanna's making a move here.
Yeah, meantime, Rihanna outside into Brooklands. He's not going to manage it there. Zayak is going to shut the door on him. He had a peek through Brooklands before, and it forced him to the outside effectively in time for Luffield. But that really went nowhere, and he got to the, if you may remember, got to the outside here for Copse, and that didn't go anywhere either. He's further alongside this time, though. Will he try and run around the outside through Copse corner? That would be spectacular. Oh, he's holding it as well. He keeps it within the white lines. Is he able to get through into Magnus and Beckett as they battle side by side through here? Is Zayek going to put the team hat on, or is he going to try and win the race? He is going to stay in front. Wow. And here comes Carasosa. He's involved in the fight now as well. Auto moves, begin to sandwich Jackson Rihanna, who's in the middle of this at the moment, trying to take the race lead. Carasosa not with the greatest run, I'm afraid, onto the hanger straight at all. Rihanna's got some very good straight line speed. Again, he looks to the outside here. Sweeping around the outside was his vision, I suppose, through Stowe corner, but he can't do it. And into the pit lane. Jackson Rihanna's coming into the pit lane here, leaving the two teammates out front to battle on their own.
I thought there was no pit stops needed for this.
Well, he's on his way in for what is the first question, I suppose, because
he doesn't have a drive-through, does he?
He's not stopping yet. He's not stopping. I know he is. He goes.
Okay, I must have read that. I thought I read that this was that there was no pit stop needed for this.
Well, no mandatory stop, because the car has enough fuel to do the whole race.
But he went light on fuel to have a lighter car, and then maybe forgot to put fuel in it after his qualifying session. Oh, that's so strange. That's what a bummer, though.
No, it wouldn't be the qualifying set because it would have less fuel. I think he just messed up. I mean, with these races, one stop never pays off.
Yeah, and but I've just received a message from one of the Australians who's watching along, and says we're so used to doing pit stops that he might have thought there was one, and indeed fueled his car accordingly. There isn't, as you say, there isn't, but
okay, that's true. They
may have been an autopilot. We have to find out afterwards, I suppose. That's one of those things we're never going to know for sure until the race is over, unfortunately. But yeah, that is unfortunately going to take the race leading battle away. Because to be honest, and maybe that is why he was flying through the field in the way that he was. Maybe he was lighter as a result, but it's not going to be a tactical choice, I don't think. It would have been an error for the final 10 laps of this race. Now Zayek and Cardozo have just got to bring this one home, really, because McDonnell is doing a good enough job backing them up down in 19th place, and they're still running 1 and 2 now for Automove, so it's looking comfortable again for them.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any team that's even remotely positioned in a place to have 3 team members score, anything close to these amount of points.
Yeah.
Is there any team out there that has 3 in the top 20 even? Other than them, of course.
I think we do. Zwemstra in the top 20? No, he's not. So actually, no.
No, he is in
the answer to that.
He's in 30th.
30th, sorry, yeah. So that's probably the best placed next team. That team, by the way, is team name TBD, as I've been saying. Lee Aberdeen, Brent Ruiz, who are both in the top 8 and doing quite well.
Yes.
But unfortunately, Kevin Zwemstra is not. So yeah, that is a little bit of a shame for them. Luca Riley's just working away at some temporary points at the moment. And as things stand, the current leading team have 380, but I don't think that includes Jordan McDonnell's score, which is about 40-ish, 60-ish actually. So that will be 440 points. I don't see any other team over 300 at the moment, which is telling. I think I think this team are over 150 points ahead of the rest at the moment. Here's Miguel Costa Texeira. It's pretty slow through the final couple of corners there compared to that driver who's steaming in behind, and as he tries to step on the power out the final corner, now he goes for a sprint.
Yeah, I see these names and I haven't seen them in a while. These Australian guys, it's been a while since I've covered that league, and it's funny how they all come back to you. This is I love seeing these guys. I'm really glad they're over here.
Yeah, it's been good so far, and yeah, it's a shame we can't get them in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League more regularly. But of course, Sunday night here is Monday morning over in that part of the world. Which is a little bit of a shame. The closest team at the moment, Lilas, Hilly and Dance, are 140-ish points behind. But you've got to remember that Cameron Dance actually has no points as things stand. He is a couple of laps down on the field in 35th place. So, it's got a lot of work to do here.
Hilly and Lillis are in good shape, though, real good shape.
Yeah, it just shows you that some of these teams will be, as this has happened a few moments ago. This is Lee Aberdeen trying to, and actually in live pictures, Lee Aberdeen is trying to actually pass Hilly and might have actually succeeded here. No, he hasn't quite. He got alongside, he got his nose in front briefly, but he didn't quite get in front properly here on the way towards Cobb's Corner. But yeah, it just shows you that I think there are a lot of teams that actually where they're just one driver away, and admittedly, if it was again top 2 drivers from each team only, then again the current top 2 who are leading this race would be winning by a run away as well. So it's not like I don't think you can change the rules for anything.
I mean, they would to a point, but Hilly, if it was just 2, Hilly and Lillis would be, that'd be super exciting. We'd be all over that, Yeah,
it would be closer, but it's still. Quite a big gap, unfortunately. Hilly is nearly 5 seconds off the top 2, for example.
Well, that's true, yeah.
So that is the real difficulty for them. And again, McDonnell is just doing the backing up rather nicely. Not a textbook race from him. I do think he could have avoided that turn 3, lap 1 incident, but he may think differently, and that's fine. But it was a mess down there in that battle for, I think it was about 5th place where he qualified. So anyway, we'll enjoy the drivers' battles for what they are at the moment. But unless there's a catastrophe, sorry, for those top two out front, then it's going to be very difficult. Here's Jackson Mariana working his way back through the field again, and Ludovic Ranson is the one who's dispatched this time. Jackson Mariana moves up into 14th position.
Yeah, really unfortunate the way that went down for him. It was fun. It was fun watching him battle for the lead up there. It's almost like like just imagine the superstar teams that they could have put together. You think about the Australian league that a lot of these guys represent. If they would have picked their top 4 guys out of that league and made one team out of it,
I think.
Don't they have something like that though? There's some kind of like Super Formula Lights, like World Championship league thing or something where.
I don't know if there's a World Championship.
That'd be an interesting series. Can you imagine that?
Oh, I know. Yeah. There's lots of different regions. Obviously, we broadcast a slightly more European heavy one, but there's a lot of Americans here as well. Obviously, the Australian community as well. But but there's plenty of drivers, by the way, not in this field either, and that might be busy on a Saturday night or whatever. But and it'll be difficult to get a time and date that everyone will agree to.
Yes,
which is one of the problems of a World Championship, unfortunately. But there's a lot of drivers not in this field either who would absolutely be a part of that. And it's a brilliantly thriving league, isn't it? And community, I'd say, as it were.
Absolutely.
The Super Formula Lights.
Super Formula Lights is by far, I think, far and away the best open wheel series out. There's a lot of F4 leagues out there too, I think, but this car.
I don't think there's this.
Well, that's probably true. There's more of the race officials maybe in F4, but you're probably right. As far as leagues go, Super Formula Lights is probably by far the most popular.
I'll get in again. We have a World Cup once per year. It's the same format as this race, teams of 4 drivers, the best 3 score points, but it's national drivers from the same nation, and there are national liveries. We've had it with the Formula 3 times. It will be a very nice event. It's going to be on week 13 next season.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I do enjoy the World Cup event as well with the nations. I've got to say I'm thankful it's not a Nations Cup this time round. There's no British people. Anyway,
there's not a British flag in there, is it? God,
I know. Yeah, I think Brad Fulliger's the only British driver. That's the English flag next to his name. I think he's the only British driver at all in this field at the moment. He's retired from this race as well. So a bit of a catastrophe
for us.
That's so strange,
considering that
Yeah.
That's a bit strange.
It is, but as I say, this is not the Nations World Cup, as it were. This is the Teams World Cup. And that does, change things a little bit as far as who is selected and so on. That's to look forward to week 13 next time round. That's coming about March time-ish, when the first iRacing season is completed. Here comes Simon Fessi on the outside of Ocean Colangelo and can't get all the way around the outside. Lilas and Aberdeen also briefly side by side, but and Lilas is off. Lilas, and there he is actually. And so Hilly and Lilas is resistant. And Aberdeen's got a meatball. For those teams who are performing well compared to the Auto Moves team at the front, it's just getting worse. And Lee Aberdeen's got a meatball. Harrison Lilas is out of the race. And 5 laps to go. And there's another spin. That's Lee Aberdeen spinning off to the side and probably ending his race.
Goodness. See what happened to Lilas here.
So something's going on up in front of them here. And no!
Boy, that's
Aberdeen slides and spins, and Lilas gets straight into him and realises immediately that the car's broken.
Oh yeah.
And says that's enough for me.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. And here's Wynn. Like a solo incident, I guess.
Yeah, slides. Well,
he caught. Well, he's all right. He didn't hit the. Could have been a lot worse than that. And then Bertilla here. I was about to go to the Bertilla replay when all that stuff broke loose there.
Let's see. He manages. No, breaks too late. And and goes into a spin as well.
Well, that's kind of a typical Silverstone spin, you know, that you're carrying so much speed and you miss your braking marker here. This is not the easiest place to pick brake markers out, you know. It's the way it's kind of flat, and you know, there's not a lot of reference points. There's not a lot of fences right along the track or guardrails, you know, or anything like that. It's kind of a tough spot to pick out braking markers.
Yeah, it is, because of say how far the sides of the circuit are away. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky.
You end up looking for like the edge of where grass starts or where the curbing starts or something like that. And then if you get a car that you're battling with, if you don't have something that's a higher visual reference, then you can't see your brake marker.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. One thing, as Colangelo actually gets past Ruiz in the background there, one thing though you should always remember when you're searching for braking markers and you're not finding the braking boards to be too helpful, never use a shadow.
No, shadows are bad.
Don't use a shadow. They famously move. So that's the only thing you need to remember, really. But anything that's not going to move around. To be honest, even the braking boards sometimes are not too advisable if they're placed in a place that's likely to be hit by somebody at some point.
Exactly.
Then you
all
don't
of a sudden
relying
you show
on them
up
too
and
much.
your board's gone.
Yeah, you just go steaming into the corner with no chance.
That's true.
So yeah, no, absolutely. It's one of the things you've got to think about.
See what happened to Ryan Borg here. I
searching.
think this is going to be a solo incident.
Yeah, he's got someone close behind him, but spins on his own under the pressure, and good avoidance there from whoever that was through turn 3, and Borgs just loops around the other way and continues on again.
Yeah, I think that was well, how you say his name? You said it earlier.
Zwemstra.
Yeah, exactly. What you said.
Unfortunately, with the demise of Lee Aberdeen, his position now is less relevant, unfortunately, Kevin Schwemstra, because they've no longer got those two in the top 5 that mattered. This is Brent Ruiz, meantime, his teammate. He's trying to get past Oisin Colangelo. They've let Simon Fessi rather get away here. He's gained 22 places so far tonight, and that looks like it's going to be the lot as Ruiz goes down the inside of Oisin. And a contact there! Colangelo into the side of Ruiz. Or was it Ruiz into the side of Colangelo? We'll make up our minds in a moment, but she spins into the outside through Brooklands, and she'll rejoin behind Andy Flint, just in front of James Kasser as well, who's now in the top 10, by the way, after gaining 28 places tonight. But Oisin Colangelo, unfortunately, with just 4 laps to go, spins to the outside of the circuit through Brooklands.
Hopper's going to be this, I think.
Let's see, Ruiz, I think, holding his line, and Colangelo turning into him.
One more shot, let's see.
Try again.
Better.
It did look like Colangelo turning a bit.
I would say that was Oisin there for sure. That was a bit strange, actually, I'd say.
Yeah. It was a little bit strange.
I mean, there's no way that they weren't aware that he was there. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. That was interesting. That's, of course, that's nothing compared to some of the stuff we saw in the first few laps. I knew that was going to be like that, though. But you know, it's all in good fun. I mean, it was entertaining for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and as you say, I mean, completely justifying the purple zones that we normally have in this
Boy, isn't that
series.
the truth? I truly never appreciated him. Like, you know, I always thought, you know, that's a good idea, but you know, I didn't really realize what it stops from happening, but it really does. They're on their best behavior.
Yeah.
If I may,
sure.
We have been doing this thing since 2003, and the purple zone is a sad necessity. With 50, 60 cars on track, it just takes 2 drivers misbehaving, and it's a mess.
Yes, no, that's absolutely true, and all it takes is 2 drivers. That's so true.
Yeah, and obviously, as you say, when there's 50 or 60 around, then there's a lot more to crash into the accidents afterwards.
Yes.
Even if they're not especially at fault for the initial part, or indeed if they couldn't do anything anyway, and you get a big mess. So yeah, absolutely, it's justified. It doesn't alleviate everything, but it has certainly helped in seasons gone past. Certainly in seasons I've been watching this series for the last few years, it has helped a lot as far as that front has gone. 2 laps to go then. Michał Zajek is on his way, and he's distanced his teammate again. Not that this really matters. Justin Cardozo and Michał Zajek could even fight between themselves if they wanted to, although I'm not sure they really do. The ultimate lap of this race will begin now, and it's a relatively comfortable lead that Zajek has got over Cardozo, and that's very good news for the team Auto Moves, because they're not fighting each other, not in danger of hitting each other, and Jordan McDonnell down in 16th place is going to be backing them up enough as well to give them a massive points lead here at the moment.
And O'Sheen recovered quickly from that, is still in the top 10 after that incident, which kind of caught me by surprise there, but obviously Caesar is trying to get by here aggressivly. Poor Max Bartolotta just had another episode as well.
I didn't realise, that Jackson Rihanna was in here as well, actually.
Yes.
Catching up quite quickly. So fair play to him for that at the moment.
Yeah, that was, man, I was disappointed when I saw him peel off down pit road. I thought we were going to, we were having a battle there. It was on.
Yeah.
Nice little battle right here.
It is actually. Casa and Colangelo side by side, and trying not to get caught up in the middle here, with Jackson Rihanna trying to come through as well, and down the inside, Jackson Rihanna trying to take both of those positions over Casa and Rihanna. Colangelo, but not able to do them both. Casa. Oh no! James Casa off, and indeed will drop outside the top 10 now, with Ludovic Ransson getting through. So will Chris Patel, who pitted on lap 1, by the way. And so Rihanna's up tonight for Colangelo back into the top 10 again.
Yeah, and Rihanna back in the top 10. That's are they going to be able to catch now? Andy's Flint is he's 5 seconds up the road from him. I don't think there's enough time to make that up. The last lap.
Yeah, we are. Last lap of the race, white flag has been taken on lap 25 by Michał Zajek, who's nearly 2 seconds in front of his teammate now. And it's going to be an Auto Moves 1 and 2. As I mentioned earlier, you're really needing 2 drivers, or all 3 drivers, sorry, in the top 8 here, if you're going to overhaul that, and that's going to be very, very difficult indeed to do. As we've already talked about, Matthew Vince is a new entrant into the top 8, but for the Turbo Bros team, but James Casa is the closest and down in 13th position at the moment, which is not particularly helpful. And Andy Flint is a new entrant as well, but Kenzie Neoff and Philip Lucas are too far down at the moment as well, though Kenzie Neoff has been making places a little bit further down, I think, anyway.
Andy's
no, he's out the race, sorry.
Andy Flint's having probably not making places anymore then. Andy Flint's having a good run today with this superstar field. This is a pretty strong field here. Some of the best super Formula Lights drivers in the world around here, and that's a top 10 showing for Andy Flint. That's big.
Yeah, it is indeed. But into the final couple of corners comes Michał Zajek now, leading the Auto Moves team. Michał Zajek is going to win the race in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights Team World Cup here from Silverstone. And with his teammate in second, just watch them come home as the rest of the top 8 come through. They will know that with Jordan McDonnell finishing as he is at the moment, going to in 14th position, they will know in a moment they've got it. Mark Killy third, Phil Vella in 4th position, Simon Fessi rounding out the top 5. Ruiz, Vince and Flint will come over the line as well. None of these guys, not enough of them are teammates, and Auto Moves will win in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights Team World Cup here tonight from Silverstone. They will win the Team World Cup with Jordan McDonnell, as long as he doesn't disappear completely from the earth, and even if he does, he might still survive through the final couple of corners. And Jordan McDonnell will confirm it for the Auto Moves racing teams They are the Teams World Cup champions this time around.
Wow. Yeah, that was, you have to say that was impressive. I mean, they dominated that race. I mean, with the exception of Rihanna on a light fuel load up there messing with them a little bit. Other than that, this was pure domination, I mean, 1-2 strong, had the third car up there in qualifying, just got into involved in that first lap incident. But yeah, what a performance by that team.
Yeah, brilliant performance by Automoose, and they will have some donuts to celebrate.
Everybody's having donuts out there.
Well, yeah.
Looks like a gathering of the police department.
Oh, goodness me. There's all sorts happening down here at turn 3. Suor Bertilla celebrating. I think Mark Kinney might run out of fuel and can't join in.
You probably didn't get my police department joke, did you?
Probably not, no.
So in America, they always make jokes about you'll always find police officers at a donut shop or a donut stand,
Oh.
Yeah, so that was...
I thought you meant people do this in the car park. I thought that's a terrible place to do it.
No.
The other kind
that's
of
a cultural joke, I guess,
Well, yeah. I did know that. I just didn't understand that's the type of donut you were referring to.
Yes, I was, yeah.
Anyway, I think everybody's just about to come over the line now.
So,
that was
yeah.
Alex Stevens. That's Tristan McLaren. I'll just give a shout out, by the way, before we get to the full results itself. The biggest mover, and you can see him there, Tristan McLaren, up into 17th place. Most of these done on lap 1, actually. 31 positions game. I don't know if you can go back, Jim, to the first lap and see it from his point of view. I don't know if that's difficult to do now the race is over.
No, I think I probably could do that.
I think he gained about 90% of those 31 positions on lap number 1, which is probably going to be quite some bit of vision, because he did start in last place, let's not forget.
Okay, so we'll... McLaren, he's still doing donuts.
Yeah.
Green flag.
He is still doing donuts. Here we go.
On board here with the...
Yeah, so let's just watch this before we do the race results, so we'll actually have a chat to John McDonough. Looks like the winner here tonight for Automoose Racing Team, at least one of the members anyway. This is the run down towards turn number 1. Already smoke in front here, not exactly backing off, to be honest, making up places quite nicely himself, and then here are the ones he's going to get for free down here at turn 3. Just break sensibly, really, not overly cautious, just sensible through.
Whoa.
Oh wow! Goodness me, that is a great bit of reaction time there. And then these are a little bit more fortunate at the end, but that one there coming out of turn 3 was really incredible reactions, and he deserves every position he's going to get after that, because of the reaction there he sort of needed to get past that incident.
Wow. Yeah, that was full on phenomenal reaction right there, I have to say. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive
still
indeed.
spinning up there in front of him.
Yeah, there was another one out of Chapel, we saw that live as well, but these were the ones he was starting to pick off then one by one. Well, that was
fun.
That was worth a look at the end, as he's still
good call
going
on
around.
that. That was worth the look for sure. It was just okay. And then all of a sudden, that's what I'm saying though. You don't see, that was pretty much the same view he had what we were looking at, and you saw the way he had to react to that. I mean, that's what people, these cars, man, you don't see anything. Like, it's easy to sit back and watch this race. He's still doing donuts. You sit back and it's easy to watch and go, well, why didn't he avoid that? But man, you saw. I mean, you don't see.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the race results then at the end of the Team World Cup tonight. Now we have had a post-race penalty actually for one of the for Carrizosa. We'll find out where he's got to in a moment, but they should still have enough points here to take home the title. We'll obviously get that confirmed 100%. Michal Zajek, though, finishes first, over 10 seconds in the end, in front of Mark Keeley, with Phil Vella rounding off the podium. Simon Fessi, Brent Ruiz, with some positions gained very nicely, actually, to round out the top 5. They're 11 and 22 between the two of them. 22 for Fessi, 8 for Ruiz. Vince, 17. Andy Flint, 12. They are 6th and 7th. Then Jackson Riano got back up to 8th in the end, getting past Ocean Colangelo and Ludovic Rasson, who were battling themselves towards the end. Chris Patel finished 11th, ahead of James Casser, with Jordan McDonnell in 13th position. Further down was the likes of Max Bartolotta, Bruno Danese rounding up the top 15. Then Tristan McLaren, who we just saw is going to get an extra position here. Then Francisco Ferroni, Rob Ridgway, Stefan Dodderer, Kevin Zwemstra, then Alex Stevens, who rounds out the top 20. There's a couple of drivers with penalties here. Ryan Borg, 22nd, Thomas Sill, Philip Lucas. Carrizosa ends up 1 lap down.
Wow.
That's odd. I'll try and figure out why that is, because as far as I can see, he crossed the line normally. Wonder whether this is only on our results that this is happening, or whether it's actually happening in reality, but we'll find out in a moment. Also a lap down was Ewan and Davison, Gacchino as well, Dennis Cornu, Adam Townsend running out the top 30. Last one who would be classified in a normal race is Cameron Dance, rounding off 31st place. Brody McConkey was not classified. Neither was Lee Aberdeen, Miguel Costa Texera, Harrison Lillas, Alex Seacas, Patrick Williams, Marcus Watson, Kenzie Newhoff, Marius Anderson, Brad Fulliger, Tom Donahue, Tony Nightingale Jr., Kevin Byland, Scott Bartime, Marcelo Caruso, Anthony Bate, Luca Varani FC, who's with us, and Yunus Amal as well at the back of the field, all not either not finishing or not starting the race here tonight. Now, we do have quite a few drivers waiting for us at the moment. Firstly, from the Automobiles Racing Team. What I'm going to do is bring them all in at once, all three of them. We can have a chat to all three of the Automobiles drivers at the same time. We have Zach, Justin Carrizosa and Jordan McDonnell, who have probably interrupted a conversation. Welcome to all three of you. Congratulations on the Teams World Cup title here tonight, and a 1-2 as well on the road for yourselves as well. I'll start with you, Michał, as race winner tonight. Just how unexpected or not is this here? I mean, were you confident coming into tonight that you and the team were going to be so strong at the front of the field?
Yeah, it was, for me, it was pretty expected that one of us would win because we are strong in the practice and in the qualifying. So yeah, I think the race was really good. We got 1-2 and the team championship. So yeah, I'm really happy with our pace.
Justin, you were following him along for most of the time. Interrupted briefly by Jackson Rihanna out front, although it seemingly didn't fuel enough for the race and needed to pit in as it turned out. But were there ever any stages where you thought that you were under pressure, or was it a case of riding around in second and looking comfortable?
Not really. I knew I was saving tires all along to not pit, and my pace was really good doing it too. So yeah, I was defending for a few laps, but yeah, I was comfortable with it.
And Justin, go ahead as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a calm race. I wasn't trying to fight Michał too hard. We were waiting maybe for the end, but at that point, he just had the pace over me, so there's not much I could do.
And Jordan also joining us as well. Tell us first of all about lap one for yourself, Jordan, and that run back through the field again. I think you gained about 8 or 9-ish places since you returned from the pit lane. Ended up being the third best placed driver who visited the pit lane here tonight, which counts for something because nearly over 30 of them came in at some point. But your race was a little bit different, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any words on to what to say about turn one. It was just kind of, it's the first 2 corners of the race. There's 25 laps. I'm just pacing myself on the cars ahead, kind of just covering the middle and whatnot. And then as you're turning in, you've got a car being super ambitious and just way over his head, thinking that there's a pass there, I guess, and yeah, junked our shit. And sorry for the language, but yeah, I don't know. It's just frustrating, man. Like, as the boys proved, we had pace, and my pace was, I think maybe not as quick as Michał and Justin over 1 lap, but like consistency wise, like I had good numbers in testing and stuff like that, and it was just a real shame not to be able to kind of use that. And obviously, just driving through kind of, you're in your own world. You're doing nothing except just making laps. And I was, being updated on the team's championship, and obviously because that's what we had to do, and kind of how that was going to play out. So just staying on the road.
Didn't you have another incident somewhere in the race, a spin or something that put you back a few more spots again?
Yeah, well, it didn't drop me a spot, but it just dropped me time. Like I'd caught up to my abuser at turn 2, and basically I lost. I was 2 seconds off him, and then I spun out. I kind of clipped that sausage curb and the exit of the final corner, and it was just enough to lift the car off the ground and spin me out. But I just keep going at the end of the day.
I have to say, you first 2 teammates, I'm pretty sure that you could add up both of their ages and it wouldn't be half of mine, hardly. But but then and then it was their voices. Obviously you can tell they're young, and then you pop on there with that big deep voice. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting another younger person's type voice, and then you pop in with that big deep voice. Just one of those stupid observations that I make along the way, but
mate, honestly, these young fellas on the team, they're already calling me Unc, and I'm 27, so like I know exactly what you're saying.
No, you don't.
Probably
I'm telling you, all 3 of you, I could add all 3 of you's age up, and I'd still be older than you guys. That's the bad part. Yeah,
well, you're the real Unc, not me.
I'm more like the granddad here, I think, at this point. What's funny is, that you're 27 and you're calling these guys kids. That's so funny, man. You're still young yourself.
Humble,
Yeah, well, yeah.
Mikkel's climbing like an adult, but
the funny thing is, those kids, man, they have nothing but confidence. They know they're fast, and that's the beautiful thing about being young. And then they just know, they're fast, and they just go out there and do it. No big deal. It's crazy.
Yeah, the youth is the future. You see it in real world motorsports as well. So just when you find one of them that's not in a team, and obviously we pride ourselves on all our drivers and their capabilities. But yeah, we like these young kids that are karting in Europe and stuff like that. They're obviously rapid now because they've grown up on the sim and whatnot. So it's you just got to grab them. That sounds so bad, but you've just got to sign them up quick, otherwise they get caught into another team. And at the end of the day, that's the youth is the future, so we got to look after that.
Yeah. One last thing, George. Just before we let all 3 of you go, do you want to thank anybody on behalf of the team or anything before we let you go tonight?
Yeah, I'll thank the sponsors and whatnot, but big thanks to obviously Dylan and Andreas from Automoves for everything they do for the team. All our partners on board: SimBlacks, SimRap Market, SimMagic, Exodus Chassis, Apex Lab Setups, Motor Tribe, Patsky Designs, obviously iGP for putting on the event. Justin and Johan didn't show up today. He forgot about the race, but he was part of the team as well. So big thanks to those 2. Justin for all his efforts and testing and whatnot. They come to us about doing this event, and it was really cool to kind of pair up and get into it. So big thanks to them and all their efforts, and obviously broadcasts and everything. So I need to stop because I'm actually hungover as heck, and I'm just starting to waffle on.
Goodness me. And well, congratulations nevertheless on the team effort, Jordan, Justin, and Michal. Thanks for all coming to have a chat with us at the end as well. And I'm sure we'll see you around sometime soon.
Cheers, mate. Thank you, guys.
Oh, that was
a good race, guys.
That was one of the best interviews ever, right there.
That's Michal Zajc, the winner here tonight, and Justin Carrizosa and Jordan McDonnell joining us all for Automove's racing team at the end. So it remains a mystery as to why Carrizosa lost so many places in the results sheet at the end, but it's actually made it quite close as far as the history books are going to be concerned. I don't think there's been a single point at which tonight they've not been winning, but I think they are Well, I think that's true anyway. But they are definitely going to be the champions by the end. Team Max Boost with Phil Vella, Danny Davison and Ocean Colangelo were 24 points only behind in the end. Turbo Bros as well with Bruno Danese, Matthew Vincent, James Katzer were only 30 behind, which considering it's 200 for a win is very, very close. But in the end, while the history books remember it like that, Jim, we've been sat here watching it, and there's never been a point tonight at which Automoves weren't winning here today, and that is, and that's been the truth of the way that race went.
No, and we still have no idea. Luca, you don't know why he dropped down the.
I don't. It must have been a slowdown that he did not serve in the last lap.
So that would have cost him, I guess, 40 seconds then. Which he does have a black flag by his name.
He finished 25th or something, so that was a big impact. But they still won the team championship.
Yeah, they still won. But yeah, that was he does have a black flag by his name though, so obviously there was something that popped up there.
Only thing must be a slowdown.
That's the only thing I can think of, unless they were cutting up on track before the race was over. I've seen that happened before too, where somebody was doing something stupid after the race, but the race wasn't over and they got penalized for it.
No, that's only for the incident points. So if you go past the limit, you can still be penalized for it. But we do not have an incident limit, so it's not it. And it's not something that I did, so there was no action on the stewards or anything. So
yeah, that's why I was asking. Oh well, either way, it didn't change the championship outcome. So. Yeah, I think if you would have just watched this, you would have thought it was a runaway, and certainly maybe not as close as it ended up turning out to be. But great racing, fun racing. Again, week 13 is always a blast. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I had predicted a big crash in lap 1. I did not expect 4 big crashes. We'll change things a little bit for a World Cup.
Of course, coming next week,
I'm
week
ready.
13. Before we sign off, Luca, is there anything else you'd like to sort of say to round off this week 13 event, and obviously previewing another season starting for season 1 of 2026, which is just around the corner in our racing, starting next week?
Now, so first of all, thank you guys for the broadcast, the wonderful images, very nice commentary. I really appreciate it in you guys. Thanks a lot to everybody that watches. And of course, to all the drivers that joined. And for this week 13 big grid events, we'll do better next season. We could have had much better racing. It was not bad by any means, but we can do better, and it will be so next season. For the league, we are starting again. iGPFun starts next Sunday. For the entire season, we follow the racing calendar. Everybody is welcome to join. We have drivers of all speed. We average about 45, 50 drivers per race. There are fights everywhere through the field. We pride ourselves on very clean racing. That has been declining a little bit last season, but we are picking up. And again, I think we had 6 or 7 different winners in 12 races last season. So it's a good league to be in. If you want to drive the SFL, please come with us.
Yeah, I would argue it's one of the most popular and better leagues on all of iRacing when it comes to Super Formula Lights. Like, whenever you mention Super Formula Lights to somebody, everybody always refers to the iGPFun League. That's usually the first one that they mention. So that says a lot about what the league has been doing, over the years. So congratulations to you on and all the other admins and people that make this thing happen. That's really
let me thank Andy Flint. He did a lot for this event. He does a lot in general, but I was traveling for business for this event, and then he took care of it. So thank you very much. And just for people who do not know, while I started organizing leagues in 1998, iGPFun has been racing consecutively since 2003. We know a thing or two about racing.
Yes, 22 years.
Yeah,
that's
closing in on a quarter century.
Yes.
There you go. closing in, a couple of years away. But yeah, no, a big thanks to you, Luca, and everybody else who's been helping behind the scenes of another year, effectively. I know we're not quite at the end of 2025 yet, and we've still got a couple of races before the end of the calendar year. But a big thanks to you and everybody else behind the scenes for putting it on, as always. Don't forget that if you've tuned in here tonight, perhaps stumbled across for the first time maybe, that we normally race on Sunday nights, and that's where we'll be starting from next season again as well. 21st of December, 9:30 UK time, 10:30 Central European time, at 4:30 Eastern American time. Make sure you join us on the 21st of December, on the Sunday, not the Saturday, for that next round of the championship. Indeed, the first round of a new season. And as Lucas says, there's 7 different winners in the 12 races we had last season. It's unpredictable racing. It was a championship covered by less than 20 points at the end of last season as well. Despite the fact that we didn't actually have 2 of the championship contenders there in the last race, it was still close. So well worth coming and having a look, even if you're not a driver on the grid. Well worth coming and have a look for the broadcast.
That was me on the last race, and unfortunately I was away on a business trip. But I'm happy that Tony wins. He won. He deserves it, very much so.
Yes, good. It was a great season for him. Great season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a big thanks again to everyone who's been tuned in here tonight. This is the Team World Cup here in the iGPFun Super Formula League. Super Formula Lights League, indeed. We'll be back next Sunday with the first round of a new season. Very much hope you'll join us then. For now, I've been Ewan Leary alongside Jim Cunningham, with Luca Varani also guest joining us in the commentary box here tonight on the JP YouTube channel. We'll be back in 8 days with a new season. Hope to see you then. But from all of us, for now, it's goodbye.